How do you feel about turning 30? As being like a brown girl, the first question most people ask is about boys. It's like,
all the time.
when are you getting married? And you're like, I don't know.
This is the bit where I'm going to get emotional. Oh no!
Like you said, because of COVID, the age and my brain age don't correlate anymore.
I agree with that.
So I think I tie a lot of what I've done or how successful that year is based on the achievements of said year.
I think the biggest lesson I've learned in my 20s is...
So yeah, looking back at our 20s, I think what we want to do is split it up into different areas of our lives. So I think when we do a look back at our 20s, I'm going to do it in terms of like career, hobbies, friends and relationships, health and mental health, and then anything else that we want to add into it. Going into mental health, how is your mental health and your health in general now versus then?
I think start of my 20s, obviously, like, life was just stressful because my focus was passing this exam.
Yeah.
Going into COVID, I didn't get to work from home. I was at work. So I guess I never really thought about things. When I used to go into work, everything switched off. I was just there. Like, I started volunteering. I was like, you know, working on the weekends because, you know, to do the vaccines and stuff. I think when things started to get back to normal, there was, you know, that moment when things are slowly getting back to normal, things started opening up. My mental health took quite a big dip, and that was where I was like, okay, I need to speak to a therapist. I need to go see someone. And I didn't see it as a bad thing because I know in Asian culture, it's a very taboo subject of just get on with it, right? But I'm a firm believer, like, if you need to talk to someone, right? I think coming from the healthcare side of things as well, like, I try and encourage people, like, if you do want to speak to someone, just speak to someone. Like, it can do wonders. And I was having therapy for 2 years, and it was hard. It was really hard. I think the biggest thing for me was my overthinking. It just went into overdrive those 2 years. I was thinking about everything. I was just thinking about, like, my life, what was going on. I felt like I was failing in life. I'm not doing anything. And that took, like, a massive hit. I think having the therapy really helped. It really, really helped. And slowly I started to appreciate more about what I wanted in life. And I just kind of told myself that you are where you need to be in life right now. Like, stop comparing yourself to others. It's hard. I still do it. I still compare myself. I still think, oh my God, like, you know, what am I doing? I'm going to be 30. What have I achieved? Right. I literally cried the other day. I was like, I don't know what I've achieved at 30, right? Like, I'm still trying to do things. You know, Bagel Bites isn't where I want it to be right now. I've had it for 5 years.
It will.
And that's what I keep telling myself, that sometimes these things don't happen overnight. It takes time. And when it happens, it feels amazing and it's worth it. So I think having a better mindset especially in the last 3 years, has really changed the way I am. I've become a lot more like emotionless things. As in, I don't really overthink things as much as I used to. So if something happens and I'm like upset about it, I'm upset for 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I just get on with what I need to. Whereas before, many years ago, I would be overthinking about it so much, like looking at every situation that's happened. I think it's a lot better than how it was. And I'm glad I'm going into 30 with that mindset, because I think, again, there's going to be so many challenges coming our way and you need to kind of be strong for it mentally.
Yeah.
You have to just take it and deal with it.
Yeah, I feel like my 20s, I think it was like the first decade that I wanted to like take care of my mental health. I went to therapy. I'm actually just restarting therapy now because there's a lot that I want to kind of like understand about myself before I like navigate this new decade of life. Yeah. But I think also a lot of changes happen that is really similar, because you say that you're like emotionless. I think I'm more emotional. Like, I feel like I cry over everything now. I feel like I've become so emotional.
I still cry. Oh God, I cry at everything. But I just choose when to cry. Before, like, sometimes it does come on though, like waterworks. Like, it just happens.
I think I feel a lot more deeper than I did in my early 20s. And I think therefore I've become a lot more sensitive. So I've been feeling this for a while, but I think I feel a lot more lost now than I did in my early 20s. And I think a big part of that is also just how much the way life has played out, and it's been a lot of change.
Yeah.
And it's all been great change, but it's navigating that change when I'm so used to stability, and stability is my core. To have all this uncertainty, like, it doesn't work well with me. There was a part of my 20s where all I read was self-development and self-help books, and like was really into like gratefulness and gratitude and journaling and all of that. And I think then I kind of like fell off, and then I went back on, and then I think based on like life, I don't think I've been as consistent with it towards this half of my 20s, but where I was a lot more better at it in the first part of my 20s. But I do want to get back to it. Like, I think going back to therapy now, I think will really help. And I think that's just me. Like, I'm just such a big believer of therapy, and like I feel like whenever there is something that I can't deal with, I think it's also like I don't want to be a burden on other people as well. So it's like I don't want to have to like make other people like go through my stuff. Like, I'd rather go through it myself. But sometimes I can't do it for myself, so then I'm like, oh, let me just go to a therapist. Like, you know how I have like mental breakdowns on like every birthday that I had?
Oh God. Yes.
So it's like,
bless you.
So I think a big part of that is like, because I think I tie a lot of what I've done or how successful that year is based on the achievements of said year. And I think like and also there's a part of me where like you said, because of COVID, the age and my brain age don't correlate anymore.
I agree with that.
So
I feel 28 right now.
Yeah, I feel
100%.
like 27, 28.
100%.
And it's like they don't correlate. So in my brain, like even now, like I'm turning 30, in my brain I'm like, okay, I'm turning 30. And I'm saying it a lot more to be okay with the idea of being 30. But like, okay, but so my brain is like, my age, by biological age is 30, but in my brain I'm like, I do not feel that. And it's such a mishmash that I feel like I'm like constantly thinking about in my head.
I think like, especially like when you look on social media and there's people the same age as you and you're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I look like I'm like 22. I'm not going to be 30 anytime soon. But I think the most interesting thing, I remember 26, I had a massive mental breakdown. I was like, I don't want to turn 30. This is ridiculous. I'm 26. And I remember it being because there was so many life achievements that were happening to people around me, like people I went to uni with. And, you've got them on social media. Every time I logged onto Instagram,
someone's getting engaged, house,
this. I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And it was also when like COVID time had happened, 26. I hadn't been out of the country for 5 years, and I was like, I need to travel. I need to do things with my life, because all I've been doing is work, right, and studying. Like, there's people out there achieving all this stuff at 26. What am I doing? I had a massive mental breakdown. I was so sick at the thought of turning 27. 27 ended up being one of my favourite years of my 20s. We went travelling.
Yes.
I did some crazy travelling. I saw places that were never on my list at the start of my 20s, right? I saw the Northern Lights. And as a little kid, I had the biggest obsession with the Northern Lights with space. I'm a bit of a nerd. I used to have the NASA app on my phone, and every day NASA would release like a photo of the day, and I always used to, before bed, look at the photo of the day and be like, wow, this is so cool. And I remember seeing that thing, I'd love to see the Northern Lights. That ain't gonna happen. And now I sit here, and in my 20s I've seen them 4 times, and to see the Northern Lights with like friends, and we were literally in the middle of nowhere. I remember my dad called me FaceTime. He was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm feeding a reindeer. Like, we were feeding reindeers in the middle of nowhere. And this was at 27. And I love it, because now I look back on it and think, I would have never have thought any of that would happen.
100%.
And from 26 to 30, like, well, not 30 yet. From 26 to 29 has been such like exciting moments in my life that I look back on it and think, I had a great time. Like, this is wonderful. Yeah. So you just never know what life's going to throw at you. And I think that's why I'm like a new level of excited for 30, because I'm excited for like positive things to happen. I can feel it, like good things are going to happen. There's going to be good successes happening, and just take it all in.
We all feel like we're in our late 20s now, and I do feel like our 30s will be what most generations late 20s was. Like generations above us. So it's actually quite exciting, because like going through it and like kind of like going through like the wedding phase of everyone, or the engagement phase, or the baby phase, or the buying house phase.
Oh my god, the baby phase.
Like, I feel like that's all yet to come, which is actually really exciting. And also because our friends are all different ages. So like,
agreed.
In our friendship group, we're the oldest, and we're like the ones turning 30, but like one of them is like 23. So like we have ages until like, so it's like spaced out.
Yes.
Which I like, because we actually have stuff to like look forward to. Whilst I think a lot of times people's friendship groups, everyone does everything together at the same time, and then it makes it like there's not much to like look forward to as much.
Everyone's had all the big events. Okay, what next?
But
like you said, like literally for us, there's so many things that we're all yet to achieve. It's so exciting because we're all going to be there. There's just going to be a lot going on. It's going to be busy, but like a good busy. So I think that's why it's so exciting as well.
One of the things that I've also like realized and so grateful for is also like friendships. Like we touched on friendships as well, but I feel like I'm so lucky. Like looking back, I'm like, just I feel so lucky that like I still have all my friends, like from the start of my 20s to like now. Like everyone is still there, and people that have like come along the way, like yourself and other people, they're still there. We've spoken about this, but like friendships hold such a special place in my heart, and like they mean so much to me. And I feel like it was one of the things that I didn't want to happen, which I was very mindful of, was like, oh, after uni, like especially with my uni girls, I was like, oh, after uni, like I feel like everyone's gonna go their different ways and everyone's gonna stay in contact. We still stay in contact to this day, like, which is amazing. But the fact that we're still there for each other is so sweet. And I just feel like I feel so blessed with the friends, because I think also making friends when you're older is actually really difficult.
I think definitely with the friendship thing, they always say that like as your 20s kind of get on, your group goes smaller.
Yeah.
My group, I say it went smaller, but I still have a very good set of friends around me who are like my go-tos.
Yeah.
You know, like my uni friends. Like you said, like we keep in contact as much as we can, which I think is really, really nice. You know, we still try and make time for each other. And then Bhangra friends as well. Like I've got kind of my group, you know.
Yeah.
I've lost friends in my 20s. Did I mourn it? I mourned it more at the start of my 20s than I have now. Now I'm just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest lesson I've learned in my 20s is you have to choose your friends wisely.
Oh, 100%.
And not everyone is going to be your friend. But I also am very like cautious about people. And I think that's the biggest thing I learned in my 20s was being cautious about people. There will be a lot of people that will you will come across in your 20s where kind of everyone's being nice, everyone's doing the right thing, but sometimes people can throw you under the bus. And yeah, not everyone's going to be your friend.
Yeah.
There will be people that will speak about you behind your back. But then I realised that kind of the older I get, I just want a peaceful, like, I want to go into my 30s with kind of just a peaceful mindset and with people around me who are on the same wavelength and mindset as me.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, at the end of the day, we're 20s. Like, there's going to be times if I can't see you, you know, after a couple of months, like, don't take it personal. Please don't. And I think it's just one of those, like, we're quite good with our friendships that everyone's quite respectful of each other's time. See each other when we see each other, and like, you know, we'll meet up when we meet up. We try and stay in contact. And you do realise, like, the friendships you have now, like, really value them, because it does happen. Like, you don't get to see each other that often. Life gets busy. Yeah. Life gets crazy busy. And then you're just like, oh my God, it's been how many months since I've seen you? But I think one of those friendships that you have is just like, it'll just pick up where it left off. And I think it's just great comfort knowing that.
Yeah, I feel like it's like high value.
Yes.
Friendships, but it's like low is it low commitment, high value?
Yeah.
And I think that's basically it. Like, yeah, things get busy, and I think that's also one of the things that I've like learned is relationships and friendships evolve over time. Like, I remember like I would spend so much time with my friends at uni or even in my early 20s, and I think now like we are still in contact, but we see each other less and less. Right? It isn't we see each other every day or after work or on the weekends. Like, everyone's busy, but like I know that if something's gonna happen, like I will always be there, or like everyone's just a phone call away. Or when you do have like those times, it's like everyone comes together and it feels like nothing's changed, which is such a great feeling, like nothing's changed. But also then like when we do come together and we just end up having like hours of conversation and we're just like talking for like 6 hours straight, and like it does feel like now I've actually created like a sisterhood of friends and also someone, I don't have a sister, right? So for the like, it is so special to have that level of that sisterhood. I feel like as we go into our 30s, I feel like our friendships are going to grow and evolve and change. But I feel like I would like to hope that the essence of that friendship will still be there. And also because we've done a lot of life together. Like, and you know how they say, like, if you've been friends for more than 7 years, like, you're supposed to be friends for life. And I was like, yes, we made it. We made it.
I think the scariest thing is just knowing that when everyone's life changes in 30s, like, people start having families.
Yeah.
And, like, we're quite grateful that even at 29, like you said, like, responsibilities are not at its peak right now.
Yeah.
And then when people start having families or start having kids and, like, people move abroad and everything like that, then you're just like, whoa, okay, like, oh, you feel a bit sad of, like, oh, is that friendship still going to carry on? But I think it's very important about both parties have to put that kind of commitment and energy in, you know, just to make it work. I think sometimes, like, I don't see friends and I'll just message them and be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Just as a check-in. I have no expectation of let's meet up for brunch. It's just, I want to see how you're doing.
Yeah,
I hope you're
of
okay.
course.
I'm still here if you need anything.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I think it's nice to know that. I think for me, the biggest learning curve in my 20s is I felt like I was very accessible to people. My sister actually told me about this. She goes, people will get annoyed at you if you haven't replied to their message. But, I mean, back in the day, we didn't have that. It was you just meet up outside or, you know, at school and stuff. And I think having that has given people so much more accessibility to you. And it is draining. Sometimes I come home from work, I'm like, I don't want to message anyone.
Yeah.
I need to just be away. I think sometimes I find work as a distraction. Like, I keep my phone aside because I'm just like, I need to focus on work. I don't want to be on my phone. And then you feel bad. You're like, I haven't messaged this person back. I need to message them. Or if someone messages me straight away, I look at it, I'm like, I need to reply back right now. And then I'm like, no, it's okay. Reply to them when you can. You're busy at the moment. It's okay. And I think having that mindset is something that I need to keep working on in my 30s, because people are going to be busy, right? Life's just going to get busier, but it's okay, you know. And I think for me, my overthinking used to play a lot. I'm like, have I annoyed this person? They haven't replied to me. Like, oh my God, have I upset them? What's going on? And then when I speak to them, they're like, oh, sorry, I've been busy. Something's happened at work. This. I'm like, oh, is that it? Okay. Like, why was I stressing?
And then I guess the other big part of our 20s is relationships and dating and love and boys.
Oh.
Boys.
Wow, yeah, 20s.
20s.
You start, go.
Oh my God, where do I start? I feel like if I was going to say the one part of my 20s that I think has caused me the most pain, it would probably be like boys or like dating or relationships in general. And I think a big part of that is because I actually like started dating like a lot later in life, right? Like I didn't date at uni. I literally went through uni without having a boyfriend or without any relationship. And I think that did affect the way that I viewed relationships, because I think after uni I got really scared to date, and therefore I didn't date for a really long time. And this is like post graduation, right? So all the aunties are like, so when are you getting married? And I'm just like,
in full force.
Also because I think relationships and romantic relationships are built up so much in our culture that a lot of a woman's worth is tied to marriage and the partner. But we also know that it's really important to find the right partner for you. And it's almost those two are clashing, where I was like, oh, I don't have any boy experience, and I don't think I want to be married in my 20s. But at the same time, I was really scared to date. Being in relationships is so formative in your 20s. I think it's so normalized for people to be in relationships in their 20s. And I felt like the odd one out in that, because I didn't have that. And therefore I would be like third wheeling or seventh wheeling or ninth wheeling, right? But for me, I always, because I grew up with like rom-coms and all of that, for me, it was like this thing that I felt like I wanted, but I didn't know how to get.
Yeah.
And it really like internalized it as well, because I wanted to find love and have that and like feel that level of support, because as much as it's great to be single, and I've been single for most of my life, right? It's almost so nice to have that level of support. I think for me, like, dating was like the thing that I used to question myself, to be like, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I doing something wrong? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not smart enough? Like, what is a problem? Because it has to be me. But I think also the way dating has changed as well. Like, I remember the first date I ever went on, I was 23. got ghosted right after that. And therefore, I didn't date for 2 years because I was like, oh my God, what does ghosting mean? Like, and I think it was a lot of like, I think it brought up a lot of insecurities in myself and how I felt about myself. And also just like dating apps and the way the landscape is so different and how like I kind of just grew up with the notion that if you like me and I like you and then we just be together and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But now it's like people are so accessible. So it's like situationships and people are going on multiple dates and speaking to multiple people and I can't do that. Like, and then after that, like COVID happened. So I don't think I dated properly until my late 20s.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's really weird because as being like a brown girl, the first question most people ask is about boys. It's like,
all the time.
when are you getting married? And you're like, I don't know. And also because I'd grown up being single most of my 20s, I'm so used to being an independent girlie because that's just what you learn. You get so accustomed to that lifestyle, which is like, okay, cool, I'm just going to do everything myself. You start to build up these like defense mechanisms and these walls that it actually is quite difficult to let someone else in.
I always felt like I was second best. It was all like, oh, you're such a nice person. Yeah, you have all the qualities that you want, but there's someone better. And I used to just sit there and think, what is wrong with me? Like, what am I doing wrong where, you know, like I just can't find that person. And it was really hard. Like you said, it affected my mental health. I felt upset. I used to cry a lot because I didn't feel great, you know, like you want to find that person, you want to find your companion. And then I did through Bhangra. This is the bit where I'm going to get emotional. Oh no!
She engaged.
This is the bit where I'm going to get emotional. Do you know what? I think in my 20s, I felt very anxious. I felt like I didn't know about myself. And being an eldest daughter, you just get on with it. You just deal with it. Like I'm used to doing everything on my own. And when I met my partner, I think the level of calmness that he gives me was something that I never knew I needed. I think you go into a relationship with like this tick box exercise. They've got to be like this. And then the biggest lesson I can say is God gives you what you didn't know you needed.
Yeah.
It's not what you want, it's what you needed. And, you know, he supported me throughout one of the most stressful times of my life when I failed my exam. And then from there, he's just always been that support mechanism. I always describe him as the calm to my storm, and my home. He is my home. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, he's my home. I got to the point where I was like, it's okay if I don't find it. Like, it's okay. Like, I gave myself that reassurance. Like, it's all right. You know, like, you're an independent girl. It'll be okay if you don't find it. And just having him there is probably like such a massive blessing from my 20s. Like, for someone to love you for you and love you in such a way that he loves me in such a way that I actually started to love myself again. And I think that was the biggest wake-up call for me. You know, the person who used to feel guilty for eating a chocolate, we will now like sit together and be like, oh my God, right, let's go get gelato. And I don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't let me feel guilty about it. And it's because I know that I can be my most authentic self. And that includes the days where I'm feeling anxious, the days where I feel lost, you know, the days where I feel upset, the days where I feel frustrated. I can be all of those things, and he is still there on the other side. And I think that was the biggest blessing to have in my 20s. But to get to that, I had to do a lot of self-work. I did a lot of self-work on myself before I was ready to delve into that. You know, I spoke to people, and I was just kind of back and forth. And then I went through a phase where I was like, you know what, my focus is just going to be with my friends, evolving my career, everything like that just became my focus. I was like, I don't really care about getting into a relationship or anything like that because I didn't feel ready in myself. There was a lot of work I had to do in myself, and I had to feel comfortable in myself. And I think one of the biggest things that people say is like to feel comfortable within yourself, you have to feel comfortable sitting in your own company.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I've spoken to, when I ask them that, they're like, oh, what does that mean? I'm like, have you taken yourself out for food on your own? No, that's weird. Until you learn to be comfortable in your own company and with your own self and your own thoughts, you will not know how to be comfortable with other people. Because I think with relationships, like, you have to also be your own person in that relationship.
Yeah.
You have to be your own people and evolve each other together.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you become better people by bettering each other. And I think by doing that, if you're a lot more confident, like, that relationship, you'll feel better within yourself. I think just kind of like, you know, I now kind of go on my own for food. Doesn't faze me. I'm quite happy to just sit there. I don't feel awkward. I don't feel weird. That's because I had to do a lot of self-work on myself to know what I wanted before I could get into that relationship. And I think the biggest thing, which actually you told me about, it was anxious attachment styles. If honestly, like, anyone watching this right now, if you don't know what your attachment style
Do
is,
the test.
do the
Please.
test, please. Like, literally, you told me about it. It changed everything. And it changed how I saw myself in a relationship. Like, so I don't know if you want to give like a brief outline of what it is.
Yeah, so basically every one of us has a level of attachment, and a lot of that comes from our early ages. So when we're children, and it's also like how our primary caregivers gave us love, but also how they cared for us. So there's a spectrum, and you can fit into either anxious, avoidant. There's one which is you're anxious and avoidant, and then there's secure. And the whole idea is that you are secure. But one of the things is that you're different with different people as well. So just because you're anxious in like your relationship, that doesn't mean you're anxious with your parents.
Yeah.
Or your friendship. So it's different in different parts of your life. But yeah, I would highly recommend doing the test. I will put the test in the bio of the podcast. For the longest time, I thought I was avoidant, especially when it came to like dating, because I was so used to being by myself and single for the whole time. I almost and my walls were so high. I did avoid. Like, I would be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Oh no, that's too much. Oh, okay, too much. But I think deep down what I wanted was that affection and the intimacy and the someone caring and loving for me. It's really interesting because sometimes what you think you are isn't actually what you are either. But yeah, 100% do the test. And there's also a book called Attached, which I would 100% recommend, and it tells you so much more about attachment styles. And I think once you understand your attachment style, I think it really changed the game.
Changes your perspective.
Yeah, especially in relationships.
I think it really helps you understand what it is you need from relationship and from a partner.
Yeah.
And I think when you're seeking a partner, like, if you find someone who you're clashing with, they say it might not work, but I think the whole idea is that you can get to that level of secure. You just need to know how to communicate with each other. I think the biggest thing I can learn from my 20s, communication in relationships will be your best friend. Yes. Like, 100% just communicate with each other all the time. If there's anything you're not happy with, something that you're anxious about, communicate it. Don't brush it under the carpet, because that's how things kind of snowball, and that's where I think problems start to really arise. And just communicating with it. I appreciate that they're not going to be comfortable conversations to have, but they are the conversations that need to be had in order for things to get resolved.
I also feel like one of the things that I've learned in my 20s is like, I really do believe love is a choice. And if you really want to be with this person, then you both need to do the work to understand each other's language, because everyone speaks a different language. But to be like, hey, I want to make it work, and we work together to make it work. Like, whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, that you put in the work to do it. And if you put in the work and it's still not working out, then fair enough. But I do feel like now people are quite reluctant to even try. Like, I genuinely feel like the grass is greener where you water it, rather than
on the other side.
Yeah. As well. And I think relationships are hard. Like, they're not easy, but at the same time, it's like you have to put work and effort into them.
It's like having another job.
Literally,
like I have to say, like, you've got to be dedicated to it, because then what ends up happening is like your partner's like sorrows and like stresses and everything become yours, because you feel it for them, right? You want to do what you can to help them, and likewise vice versa. So I think, like, taking all that on, it is a lot. You have to be willing to put the time in, And again, like, relationships are not easy. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you know, it's a bed of roses, everything's great. Like, it is tough.
There's some
there are some
tricky
really
conversations.
There are just going to be some really awful moments, and you're just like, what do I do? But I think those are the times that test you. And I think they're the ones that kind of make or break your relationship. And like, you have to go through that to get to the other side. It's horrible and it feels awful, but it is worth it in the end. And I think, like, you just kind of, like, they're your best friend.
Yeah,
right? It's your best friend. I love it. Like, you know, he's my best friend. I can't get emotional again. I can't be doing this.
I think, like, just to add in the relationship stuff, I think, like, one of our friends said it, and she said it to me and was like, you will learn about yourself the most when you're in a relationship.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because there's
100%.
stuff that, like, I feel like from what I've heard, there's stuff that people have said. They're like, oh, I've realised a whole different side of myself whilst being in a relationship, because sometimes another person has to bring it out of you.
Yeah.
But it's also then such another level of self-work, and to be like, oh, I didn't know I had this side of me, and oh, I didn't know I did this, or oh, I didn't know I did that. And it's so interesting because sometimes what you think you are isn't actually what you actually are as well. And it brings up a lot, especially if you have unresolved trauma.
A lot of trauma comes through in relationships, big time. But I think how that other person helps you to understand and deal with it is also a reflection on them and a reflection on how they will be in your relationship.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my god, so much like throwback of our 20s. Piece of advice to someone who's listening that's like, what do you think they need to know to, like, thrive in their 20s?
Invest in yourself. I mean, in every way, shape and form, right? If there are skills that you want to pick up on, and, you know, there's things you want to do, go and attend that class, right? Go and attend any tutorials that you have. If there is, you know, a new thing that you want to try, do it. Because by investing in yourself, you're going to know what you want in life and what you don't want in life. And invest in good skincare and hair care. I wish I did this earlier in my 20s. Like, I'm realizing it now in like 5 years. But honestly, like, please, and invest in good skincare and hair care from the get-go, right? Because it really does affect you when you get later on in your 20s. It's so worth it, though. And I think it's just like, when I say investing, make sure you invest in yourself. It's all the little things. If they're, you know, I think the joys I get now is coming home from work and doing a face mask and having a cup of, like, peppermint tea before bed. I get so excited about it. Like, I get really, really excited about it. Because that's me investing in myself. Yeah. That is my self-care time. That is me investing in my mental health. It may be the smallest of things, but it's something that just keeps me going. If I've had a really rubbish day, I just do that. And that's me investing time in myself. You know, me going to the gym, attending Pilates, doing all of these things is me investing time in myself. And I think what happens in your 20s, we're so, like, confused and just thrown in all different directions that we lose sense of what it is that we want sometimes. And the biggest thing I can just say is invest in yourself, right? In any way, shape or form. And you won't regret it, you know. I've been to cooking classes and everything because I was like, it's on my list of things to do. And I'm so glad I did it, because the skills I've managed to pick up from it now, I've realised now, like, kind of what things I want to pick up on in the next year or so in terms of cooking and everything like that. And that's important to me because I've realised I need to invest in those things. No one else is going to do it for you. You've got to get up and go and get it and do what you want.
This is so true. I think mine was the same. It was invest in yourself and take those opportunities that even if you think it's, like, cringy or you think it's scary going by yourself, like, just do it. If it's going to make you happy, just do it. The worst regret that you could possibly have is the what if. Yeah. Rather than just trying it and just see how it goes. Invest in skincare, 100%. Also, anti-wrinkle cream as soon as you hit 25. Game changer.
Sunscreen,
SPF.
Every day.
All the time. The one thing I want to do in my 30s is get the red light face mask.
Oh my god, yeah, I've heard about those. I really want to try them. I'm a bit scared because I have sensitive skin, so I'm a bit like, oh, I don't want to do it. But
I feel like that's, like, the thing that, like, I've been seeing a lot of, like, people in their 30s and, like, doing the red light mask. And I do feel like the decisions that you make in your 20s definitely helps you, like, compound over time. So if you're making poor decisions now, then that will compound over time. So especially when it comes to your health, like making choices now.
Health is so important.
Yeah, like
Really
whether that's like going
is.
to the gym and all of that, that's going to help you in your 50s and your 60s, or obviously have fun, have a great time, but also think about what is it the type of person that you want to be in the future. Now we looked back at our 20s. How do you feel about turning 30?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
I'm very excited. Like I said, if you'd asked me this question 2 years ago, I probably would have run out the room. I would have been like, no, I'm not having this conversation. Not today.
Yeah.
But I am excited to be turning 30, and I don't think age determines where I will be in life. You know, I think I was asked this question a couple of weeks ago, and it was, are you happy? And my first answer straight away was no. I didn't hesitate. I went no. And the reason I said no was not that I'm not happy in what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm happy with, you know, my friendships, my family, my partner, like everything. I'm lucky. I am very blessed. Like, I can openly here say I am very blessed to be in the position that I am in, and I'm very grateful for it. And I don't kind of take it for advantage at all in any way. What I'm not happy about is I'm not in the position I want to be right now. You know, there's so much I still yet want to achieve. And in my head, I thought, oh, yeah, I'll achieve it by the time I'm 30. I haven't achieved it, but that doesn't mean that it just stops there.
Yeah.
It just means, yeah, you keep going until you achieve it. That's it. I'm very much like, if I want something, I will go get it. I won't stop until I get it. And I don't know if like you believe in this, but I believe in it. And you know, when they say that, like when you have this idea and it just keeps happening in your head, it's almost like it's already there.
Yeah.
You just need to get to it,
Yeah.
right? And that happens a lot. Like, I've already envisioned like a lot of stuff with like my food page with Bagel Bites, and that's why I said I'm not happy, because I haven't reached that point yet. I haven't reached that point yet where I can sit down and say, you know what, Manveer, you've done good, because there's so much I'm still yet to achieve. And I know that, like, I know there's so much yet for me to achieve. I'm not going to stop until I achieve it, because that will give me the satisfaction to be like, okay, yeah, you know what, I'm happy, I'm good. In terms of pressure, like, I'm, you know, I am getting all the, oh, you know, like, when are you getting married, when are you gonna have kids? I'm like, whoa one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
And at one point I was just like, it did hit me, I was a bit nervous, like, what is going on? But I think now I look at it, I'm like, listen, I've got things to do, I have got things to achieve yet, so it will happen when it happens. I'm a massive believer of things happen at the time that they're meant to, and it will happen when it happens. It's a hard pill to swallow, because sometimes you sit there and things aren't going right, and you're like, why is it not happening to me? And I promise it's because better things are on the way. And so I am like a level of excited for my 30s, because I'm not done achieving yet.
Yes.
How do you feel about turning 30?
How do I feel about turning 30? I think I still need to figure out my thoughts. I think in the most part, I'm actually excited about turning 30. I think really similar to what you said. I think it's like fine, we're doing like our late 20s in our 30s.
Agreed.
And I feel like there's been so much change in like the last 2 years of my late 20s. I feel like there's going to be even more change in my 30s, like my early 30s. I think I really do want a 30s where I feel like I can grow.
Yeah.
I feel peace, I feel contentment, I feel stability. But also the whole idea of like being excited about new opportunities. I want to be able to like find my spark again and really figure out what it is that's important to me and where I'm going. Like I said, I feel like I'm going down like this windy road and I don't know what's happening. I just want to feel more secure in that and more secure in where I am in life. And I feel like it's a journey, but it's a journey I'm really excited to do.
Yeah.
If, in all honesty, like if I were to ask me when I was 20, like, oh my God, 30, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to be so old. I feel like now I'm like, actually, no, I don't feel old. And I feel like, oh, it's just a new decade of life. Great. I've been blessed to be of this age. And I feel like it's gonna be great. Like I'm actually like, the more I talk about it, the more I'm normalizing it. I'm like, it's gonna be great. But then I also, I've told you this, I'm doing a 30 things before 30 list.
Yes.
And I decided to do like really fun stuff. So Manveer's gonna teach me how to make sourdough bread.
Which, again, I had to master that one. And we've done it, so I'll make sure that we will get that done before
Yeah.
you're 30. We will get that ticked off your
But I
list.
wanted to do like small things that like really spark joy and bring out like the little kid in me. Like, for example, like one of the things on my list is to like do a run, but run through all the London monuments, or
that'd be
go
amazing.
cycling. Like just things that we say we were going to do, but where we never really do. So I think like all of that, like be able to like tick little things that like spark joy. But
Those are things that keep you going, right?
100%.
Like, and you're gonna definitely need it in the next decade or so. Like,
Yeah.
just little things that
But
keep you going, that make it worth it.
Like, imagine in 10 years' time we sit down again and be like, yeah, so how
I
was
think
our
this needs to be a
30s?
regular thing. So, like, okay, now that we're turning 40.
Now that we're turning 40, the level of learning that I've done in my 20s, I feel like there's going to be a new level of learning in my 30s, which is actually exciting because I don't think I ever want to get to a position where I stop learning. So I feel like it's going to be good. But Manveer, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, I've had the best time. I think it's been so nice to reflect. And it's given me that kind of reassurance again about turning 30. I think past couple of weeks I was feeling a bit confused about life again.